Come and join us in our quest for unity. It's the way of life for you and me. Well done.
Very good. Thank you. Oh, I love celebrating holidays. And I do believe that every day is Mother's Day, but we're going to look at the power of motherly love. Now, it is on a spiritual level, each one of us embody motherly love. Each one of us embody fatherly love. Each one of us are one with divine love. And we know God isn't masculine or feminine, but God's so big that we must find ways to discern how to relate with the bigness of God. And so that's what we're doing today. We're going to focus on the power of motherly love. Our own co-founder, Myrtle Fillmore, wrote this. It is my great joy to perceive somewhat of the mother side of God. The divine love that never fails, that is equal to the drawing of souls to itself. It is my prayer to be able to radiate the qualities of this divine love to all. So we might ask, well, what is motherly love? What is that energy of spirit that is supportive, is nurturing, is caring? That we can easily see why that would be motherly love. Where fatherly love would be that protection and that strength and that creative power that comes. But in our lives, we call upon that energy when we're being of service to others, because that opens our heart and has us care and have concern for others, make someone else's life a little better. That's motherly love. And I know that each of you have been touched by motherly love in many ways. And so I'm going to ask, how have you experienced motherly love? And like this sharing of ideas time so that everyone can hear, please raise your hand and I'll bring the mic to you.
Baking.
Baking. Yeah.
That's how the mothers in my family did it. They would bake.
I love that. Anyone else? Yes.
I think for me, my motherly love started the minute I had those babies and they would put them in my arms at the hospital and I would look at that face and it was just magic. Magic. I loved it. I loved it.
And it's still present.
It's still there. They're
Yes.
still my babies.
Well, I've received a lot of motherly love. My mother's been gone a long time. And so I have a number of people, mostly women, in this congregation who, because I used to call my mother when we talked almost every day. So when I have something come up, I call or text or get with one of these women and I experience that unconditional love. Because even if I'm kind of crazy in my head, which is usually when I call them, when I'm like, this is not a good thought, Deborah. This is not. I feel that motherly love from them. And I'm not afraid to call them and tell them who I really am. So I'm grateful for that.
Very good.
I'm always impressed every time I see the motherly love in any mammal that you watch when they're young.
Yes.
Hey. When I didn't get to live a whole lot with my mother, but whenever when she passed, having a mother is like having this big hand between you and the world. It's you don't realize it until the second that they pass, and there's that hand is gone, and the hand is gone, and there's nothing between you and the world like a mother. So, and what I found is how much I miss that. I have to go back and I have to think about motherly things. I have to think about things like Bill said about mammals, that they give, not just mammals, everything, but you have to focus on the mother aspect and to bring it back to you every now and then. It helps to get something between you and the world. A mother.
Wonderful.
I think it's a safety net, and following up with Pete, sometimes you don't realize that safety net until it's gone. Because it allows us to do things, and going back to Deborah, also, when things aren't quite right, it's always nice to know that mom is there just to pick up the phone, just to go over whatever. And when she's not there anymore, it's really hard.
Well, my mom died when I was young, and I got lucky enough to have two wonderful mother-in-laws. One I called Mom, Steve's mom. She was wonderful.
Yeah, Lauren mentioned baking, but also I experienced motherly love in cooking, in eating together, breakfast, lunch, and dinner as a family. That totally calls for me motherly love.
I've experienced motherly love from both men and women in my life, the tremendous support that I have had, particularly in my later life. It's just been amazing. So I thank you, everybody who's ever done that for me. Even as a child, I had a great mother and great aunts and people who supported me, but I see it coming from a lot of different people, no matter what their sex.
I hadn't thought about this for years. My maternal grandmother was very, very special, and she was a very affectionate woman. But the one thing she did was to take her hands, put your face in her hands, and just look you in the eye. She didn't say a thing, but that's all she did, and that was the ultimate of motherly love.
My mother's passed away a number of years ago, but the thing that I think about her is the fact that how much she loved me and was protective of me as I was growing up, and so I miss my mother today. Thank you.
Absolutely.
To give birth to the child, to show motherly love to the child. And 40 years ago, this October, Judy and I met. We had our first date. And in discovering one another, we talked about our kids. And she told me how her youngest one was going into college. And I explained how I had custody of my 3 children and how my youngest one was going into kindergarten. And you all know the story. She's still with me. She raised my 3 kids, and my oldest one, I think he was in 4th grade, the city had an essay contest about the best mother or whatever. And Matthew wrote an essay and took the top prize. We love you.
Hi, Reverend Gary. Thank you so much. My mother and I had a very strained relationship growing up, and she wasn't very affectionate. It was very difficult for me. And I went through a lot of disadvantages because of that. But coming back around through this church and through the love that's been given to me through the years, just an overwhelming amount of forgiveness, kindness, and love, I've been able to emulate that more towards my mother and give her the kindnesses and love. And I don't know, through redemption and the friendships that I've had through the years have been just tremendous. I want to kind of emulate something Deborah said. The women here have just been phenomenal to me. Deborah gave me these earrings 13 years ago. We've been friends for a very long time. And it just makes me want to cry because I've received so much kindness and love throughout my life, and I've been able to use that as an advantage to help others and to be kind towards my mother in turn, in practicing that spiritual principle of forgiveness. So thank you, Reverend Gary.
Absolutely. It is a profound experience, and these stories and our own stories in our lives do touch our heart. And it's of value to recognize that love and honor that love that comes from all directions in our life. And certainly in my family, the roles were not the normal. My dad did all the shopping and the cooking and picking up the kids at school, and many of us have lots of different roles. But it's not the gender of the person, it's the expression of that heartfelt, deep, unconditional love. And it comes through us, and when we can be that loving presence for someone else, it makes a difference. And we don't know, there's no way for us to know what our impact is. We can just say something or go out to dinner with some friends of friends and find out years later that they related to something that you did that helped them move through a difficult time in their life. So we're in a very special day of observance for those mothers, those mother-in-laws, those stepmothers, and those single parents. It might be a dad who's being that caring, supportive energy. Or it could be an uncle or a grandfather that was particularly sweet, or a grandmother. Or it doesn't even have to be related in any way. It could be a neighbor, it could be a friend, it could be in your study group, it could be in your 12-step program. Or it could be sitting next to you when you sit at a great concert given by Carol Elliott, and you find out that, wow, I love this person next to me, and I didn't even know them before this. It happens. So, with that, let's carry on. Thank you for all of that sharing. Truly wonderful. John Steinbeck is a great author, and he has this perspective: it takes courage to raise children. Anyone had courage raising their inner child? How well does your inner child listen to you? If you've ever had children, you're like, wow, they're related. It takes courage because of the profound power that's called upon you to raise another. Now, this can be another species. It could be a dog or a cat or a goldfish. Love is the very thing that sustains us, expands us, grows us, and heals us. And as we take that courage and apply it to our lives, we too can tap into the motherly love that can transform those issues in our lives, those places where we're not in sync, where things are a mess, our brains a little crazy. Anyone ever been there? Yes. And it takes courage to stop, to breathe, and to embody that loving presence to ourselves for forgiveness. And that strength is powerful. Now, from Scripture, it's throughout Scripture, there's stuff about this, but Proverbs chapter 31, verse 26. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. The Dalai Lama says, my religion is kindness and compassion. I think that's the very definition of motherly love, of divine love, that we embody kindness. It's a little hard to run a judgment or criticism if we have kindness resting on our heart. We can face any situation with kindness, and it transforms that by giving us an opportunity to offer love in a situation. And this is wise. And it's helpful to be able to have a little moment where that wisdom can come in. It might be the wisdom to pick up the phone and call someone and say, I just want to tell you how stupid I am right now. I'm really crazy. I can't believe I'm thinking about doing this. Tell me to put the gun down. You know? Because the grace is we're not all crazy on the same day. That means we all have our crazy day, and then the rest of us can support you. Now, there might be a rare day where we're both crazy on the same day, but there's plenty of other people to get support from. We are on a journey of revealing the truth to our own heart of what is that truth that opens us to a life worth living. Relationships worth having. H.M. Cady is a wonderful writer. I would so much like to, I've certainly done it in imagination, to go to some cafe and have lunch with Emily Cady. And what I would ask this profound woman, she was a physician in New York City in the middle 1800s. That's a woman with a lot of courage. And she wrote Lessons in Truth. And from this is a two slide, but the quote's so wonderful. So we start with, God is love. We cannot see love, nor grasp any comprehension of what love is, except as love is clothed in form. All the love in the universe is God. The love between husband and wife, between parents and children, it is just the least bit of God as pushed forth through the visible form into manifestation. I think that is so wise. That God is love, but we can't grab it. We can't pull it down. The only way we can experience that love is to bring it into our expression, to push it through our thoughts and ideas. Oh, I can give that person a call. Oh, I could write that person a letter. Oh, I could go up to them and I could help them. All of this is the power of motherly love. It's the power to change the situation by putting it in balance, by being nurturing and supportive. And it starts by being loving and supportive to our own self. Having courage to face what our truth is. Because if we can be in the present moment and we're able to accept what is, we might be able to open our heart in kindness. We might be able to have a little more compassionate for our fellow being. And we have a world that's ready for love, kindness, and compassion. So as we go forward this week, our personal exploration is to embody this power of motherly love. The first one is to serve others. This is how we can move it into manifestation by doing something, by taking action. And when we serve others, it is the very mechanism of how we heal or even let go of our own problems. Whenever we're of service to others, to make others' day a little better. And I really believe, because I am a servant, that I get so much more out of being the servant than I can ever be to serving others. But it's still the activity of being and doing that service where I can spread that love, that kindness and compassion, and heal the world. The second one, accept yourself and others fully. If we're in acceptance, we've shifted the channel from judgment and criticism. You know that one? Oh, I can't believe. Oh, I'm glad they're here. It's a shift, and we have the power to do it. We can go straight to judgment and criticism, or we can change the channel and go to kindness and compassion and accepting people just as they are. It's pretty much guaranteed that each and every person is doing the absolute best with what they have. Or they wouldn't be breathing. When they stop breathing and move on to the next dimension, they do it a different way. But in this dimension, we're doing the best with what we got. And if we can look at others seeing, well, they're doing the best with what they got, we can open our heart to some kindness. And it requires practicing forgiveness. Forgive and forgive and forgive. Forgive ourselves, forgive others. It happens. We say off-color things. We're tired, we're lonely, we're angry. We say stuff that we don't mean. When we're hurting, we can lash out. And if you're near the person who's lashing, it hurts. Forgive. Let go of it. You don't need to carry that on for any longer than you want to. When they asked Jesus, well, how many times do I forgive him? 7 times? No, 70 times 7. That just means we're going to forgive and forgive. Oh, we're going to forgive and we're going to forgive and we're going to forgive again and again, because it's an ongoing process that allows us to serve others. It allows us to accept ourselves and others. And then we forgive some more. So this is our journey, and it all rests on the wonderful memories we have of motherly love and being motherly love, because the world needs kindness and compassion, and that's the power of motherly love. Thank you.